Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission here, it's pretty simple, really. We take a stack of sources, you give us articles, research, maybe even your own notes, and we pull out the most important bits, the nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah, think of it as like a shortcut to getting properly informed.
Exactly. With some surprising facts and hopefully just enough humor to keep you listening. Now, before we dive into today's topic, which is honestly fascinating, if you're looking for more great info like this, you should definitely check out Mind Expansion Daily. Seriously, we share stuff all the time that'll spark your curiosity.
It's good stuff.
It is. And while you're there, maybe hit that like button. And subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. That way you won't miss any of our future deep dives.
Helps us out, too.
It really does. And look, if you genuinely appreciate the information we're sharing, consider buying us a coffee. The link's right there in the description. It helps keep the lights on.
Definitely appreciated.
And we love hearing from you. So after you listen, tell us in the comments, do you agree with our summary? Disagree? Let us know. And one last thing, we're trying to reach people all over the globe, so please tell us where you're listening from.
Yeah, that's always cool to see.
Okay, let's get into it. Today we are blasting off, metaphorically speaking, into the future of eating in space. What will astronauts actually be eating by, say, 2030?
Right. We're drawing on some really interesting experiments and concepts, particularly from a source called Space Food by 2030, a culinary odyssey.
Get ready for some pretty surprising stuff. Things are changing fast up there.
They really are. And what's so fascinating, I think, is just how unique the challenges are. It's not just packing lunch, right? It's way, way more complex.
How so? I mean, beyond food floating away?
Well, you've got preservation, obviously,
Yeah.
keeping food edible for years sometimes. Then there's nutrition and microgravity, which is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And sustainability. How do you grow food with no soil, no gravity, limited water?
Right, okay. Let's break that down. Preservation first. What are they eating now? Still, like, tubes of paste.
Not quite tubes anymore, thankfully.
Yeah.
Since the Apollo days, it's mostly been freeze-dried, dehydrated, or thermostabilized meals. Think packet shrimp cocktail or beef stew. Shelf life up to 3 years.
3 years, wow. But I bet it doesn't taste great.
You got it. Functional, yes. Appealing, not so much. And that leads to this big problem called menu fatigue. Astronauts literally get sick of the food.
So they just stop eating as much.
Exactly. They can end up eating 10, even 20% fewer calories than they actually need. And on a long mission, like Mars,
Yeah.
that's a serious health risk.
And for Mars, how much food are we talking? It must be a mountain of freeze-dried stew.
Pretty much. A 2 to 3 year Mars trip. You're looking at something like 3,600 pounds of food per astronaut.
Whoa.
Resupplying that from Earth, completely impractical. Forget about it. And get this, the fuel cost. Shipping food takes 7,000 kilograms of rocket fuel for every single kilogram of payload.
7,000 to 1.
Yeah.
That's insane. You just can't sustain that.
Absolutely not. And it's not just the quantity, it's the quality, too. Nutrition is huge.
Yep.
Microgravity messes with your body.
Exactly.
You lose bone density, like 1 to 2% per month, muscles atrophy. So you need these really high-protein, nutrient-packed diets.
But the current food, even if it's fortified, doesn't quite cut it.
Well, the problem is fresh vitamins, like C and K. They degrade over time, even in fortified food. So by the time you eat that 3-year-old meal,
It might not have everything you need anymore.
precisely. And then, sustainability. The third big hurdle. You can't just plant potatoes in Martian dust, not without serious tech. No soil, gravity's different, water's scarce. It demands completely new ideas.
Okay, so given all that, what's it actually like for the astronauts on the ISS right now? What does dinner look like tonight, say?
So NASA's Space Food Systems Lab manages the menu. They've got over 200 items now. Sounds like a lot.
Macaroni, fruit bars, sounds okay.
Yeah, but remember, it's all designed to be lightweight, compact, easy to rehydrate, taste and texture. They suffer a lot.
So that menu fatigue really kicks in.
Oh, yeah. Astronauts consistently say it's monotonous.
Hmm.
One source said a staggering 80% crave fresh flavors after just a few months up there. Imagine wanting, like, a crisp salad.
And all you have is rehydrated beef stew. Yeah, I can see how that would wear you down.
Totally. And it's not just physical. The ISS relies on resupply missions every 3 to 6 months. That costs, get this, about $1.5 billion a year.
$1.5 billion just for supplies.
Yep, clearly unsustainable for deep space. And beyond that, think about the psychological side. Being isolated for months, years, food becomes incredibly important for morale.
Comfort food takes on a whole new meaning.
Exactly. About 30% of astronauts report mood declines on long missions.
Hmm.
Good, appealing food can make a real difference. It's a connection to Earth.
Okay, so the current system is expensive, not ideal nutritionally or psychologically, and just won't work for Mars. That brings us to the innovations. What's coming by 2030? This is where it gets exciting, right?
This is where it gets really interesting. There are 3 key technologies scientists are pushing hard on right now. These could genuinely revolutionize space dining.
Okay, lay mommy.
First up, hydroponics and space farming. Basically, growing plants without soil,
Right, using nutrient-rich water, like the veggie system on the ISS.
exactly like veggie.
Yeah.
It launched back in 2014, and it's been a huge success. They've grown lettuce, kale, radishes, all in microgravity.
I saw pictures of astronauts eating lettuce they grew.
Yeah, and by 2025, they expanded to tomatoes and peppers. They use special LED lights to help them grow. And the big win, it uses 90% less water than traditional farming.
90%, that's huge for space.
Massive.
Mm.
By 2030, the idea is that scaled-up versions of these systems could provide maybe 20%, maybe even 30–40% of an astronaut's calories.
Wow, almost half their food grown right there.
That's the goal. Veggie's already proving it's possible. They grew over 10 crop types since 2015. Astronauts are eating about 1.2 kilos of fresh produce a month from it now.
That must be amazing for them.
Game changer. In 2024, the Red Robin tomatoes they grew yielded 24 fruits per plant. It shows it can scale. And this tech is directly feeding into plans for lunar and Martian greenhouses. NASA's Plant Habitat 04 experiment in 2025 is already testing bigger crops like beans.
Okay, so fresh greens, tomatoes. What about the main course? The protein.
Right, that leads to number 2, 3D food printing.
Printing. Food like Star Trek replicators.
Sort of. It uses additive manufacturing, building meals layer by layer from nutrient pastes, or maybe even cell cultures eventually.
Okay, hang on. Nutrient paste. What does that actually mean?
Think powdered ingredients mixed with liquids to create an ink. NASA did trials in 2023, successfully printing pizza and protein bars.
Pizza. How was it?
Apparently, they got about 80% sensory similarity to Earth pizza, which is pretty good. Still needs work on texture, obviously.
80% is impressive, though, and companies are working on this.
Oh, yeah. Companies like BHEX are developing printers specifically for space.
Yeah.
The cool thing is you could tailor meals for individual needs. Need more protein? Print a high-protein bar.
Custom space meals on demand. That's pretty neat. What percentage of meals could this cover?
The prediction is maybe 30% of meals by 2030. Offers variety, cuts down waste because you only print what you need.
Okay, hydroponics for veggies, 3D printing for maybe pizzas and bars. What's the third one? You mentioned cell cultures.
Yep, number 3, lab-grown proteins. Cultured meat.
Ah, growing meat in a lab, not from an animal.
Exactly. You cultivate animal cells in bioreactors, no livestock needed. An Israeli company, LF Farms, actually produced beef in space-like conditions in 2024. Proved it's feasible.
Lab-grown steak in space.
Okay. What are the advantages?
Huge environmental benefits, even relevant for Earth. 95% lower land use, 80% fewer emissions than traditional meat. And for space, crucially, you can fortify it.
Fortify it. Like add vitamins.
Precisely. Address those deficiencies we talked about, like vitamin D, which is critical if you're not getting sunlight. By 2030, this could supply maybe 25% of protein needs on a Mars mission.
So fresh salads, printed pizza, lab-grain burgers sounds way better than freeze-dried stew, doesn't it? And one of our sources actually tried to live this future menu for a week.
Oh, really? Like a personal experiment? Tell me about that.
Yeah, a fascinating simulation. The author wanted to see what a 2030 space menu might feel like, so they ate meals based on these prototype texts for a week.
Okay, what did they eat on day one?
Started with a 3D printed protein bar, soy-based, fortified with vitamin C, paired it with hydroponic basil pesto pasta. They grew the basil themselves in a little countertop AeroGarden like a mini veggie system.
And the verdict?
The bar was dense, functional. But the fresh basil, apparently it made a huge difference, that burst of real flavor missing from current meals.
Just proves how important those fresh elements are. What next?
Day 3, they tried a 3D printed lab-grown chicken patty. Texture was about 85% like real meat, apparently. A bit bland, needed seasoning, but the potential was there. Served with hydroponic lettuce and radishes for crunch, and nutrients got 200 milligrams of vitamin K per serving that way.
And did they feel better eating this way?
Yeah, they noted an improved mood, just like astronauts report with the veggie crops. Fresh food just lifts the spirits. Day 5 was a 3D printed pizza with algae-based cheese. Comfort food, but the texture still needed improvement.
Algae cheese. Okay, that's adventurous. How did they wrap up the week?
Days 6 and 7, they combined everything. Made a lab-grown beef burger, 20 grams of protein, used 90% less water than a regular burger, had it with a hydroponic arugula salad, and for dessert, 3D printed chocolate mousse.
Wow. So the final takeaway from that experiment.
The participant felt energized, satisfied. It suggested that, yeah, by 2030, a space diet really could balance nutrition and enjoyment. It's not just sci-fi. It feels practical, even appealing.
That really changes the game for long missions. Let's talk implications. How does this connect to, say, a Mars mission?
It's fundamental. Sustainable food is vital. Remember that 10,000 kilograms of food for a 4-person Mars crew? Costing $70 million just to launch.
Yeah, staggering numbers.
On-site production hydroponics, lab meat could potentially cut that mass requirement by 50%, maybe more eventually.
Half the launch cost, half the mass. That makes Mars look a lot more feasible.
Exactly. Saves massive resources, enables genuine self-sufficiency. And don't forget morale. On a mission lasting years, where 40% of astronauts might face psychological stress, having fresh, good food, it's huge.
Like a little piece of home.
Totally. And the lunar base is planned for around 2028. They'll be the key test beds for all this, proving grounds before we head to Mars, maybe by 2035.
It sounds incredibly promising, but it can't all be perfect yet, right? What are the roadblocks, the challenges these techs still face?
That's a really important point. Progress is amazing, but yeah, hurdles remain. Hydroponics needs power for those LED lights, maybe 10–15% of a spacecraft's total power. That's significant.
Okay, power consumption. What else?
3D printing is still pretty expensive. Those bioinks can be around $100 per kilogram right now. Costs should drop, maybe 60% by 2030, but it's still a
But
fast.
the lab-grown meat.
Regulation is a big one. Only about 10 countries had approved it for sale by 2025. Getting global consensus and space agency approval takes time. And then there's just acceptance.
People being willing to eat printed pizza and lab-grown steak.
Yeah, even astronauts. A survey found 25% still preferred traditional flavors. You can't just flick a switch. People need to adapt.
Makes sense. So, despite the challenges, what's the overall prediction for 2030 based on the sources?
The author predicts a mix. Maybe 50% fresh produce lettuce, tomatoes, herbs from space farms, around 30% lab-grown proteins, beef, chicken, and the final 20% could be 3D printed meals, pizzas, desserts, custom snacks.
Half fresh food. That's a transformation.
It really is. And they even suggest this could support a Martian greenhouse by 2035, capable of growing a ton of food annually. Real farming on Mars.
Incredible. What a journey we've taken today, from freeze-dried shrimp to Martian greenhouses. It really feels like the future of eating in space is becoming, well, fresh, sustainable, and maybe even genuinely tasty.
Yeah, hydroponics, 3D printing, lab-grown proteins. They seem set to completely change astronaut diets by 2030. Less reliance on Earth, enabling those bigger, bolder missions.
Healthier astronauts, happier astronauts, hopefully. From veggies, greens to printed burgers, it's quite a leap.
The culinary frontier is definitely as exciting as the cosmic one right now.
So, looking ahead to Mars and beyond, what do you think? What will we really be eating up there by 2030? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. What surprised you the most today?
Yeah, curious to hear what people think.
And please, if you found this deep dive valuable, don't forget to like this, subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily for more, and hey, maybe buy us that coffee. Links in the description.
Every bit helps.
It really does. Leave us a comment, agree, disagree, just say hi. And definitely let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far these ideas are reaching. Thanks for diving deep with us today.